Making the film, I was more like, if I was thinking like, it's more Veep than West Wing. It's like, I mean, not really, but it's like, but actually there's something to it all. You know, there's the kind of the comedy and the kind of the absurdity and, yeah, but I think actually what influenced me more as a filmmaker was this documentary from 20-some years ago called The War Room, which was a story of the Clinton campaign, the Bill Clinton campaign, the first time he ran. She was just the governor of Arkansas, and he had a bunch of very young sort of staffers who ran the campaign, and it was just inside that campaign until election night. And I just was wondering, setting out on this film, was it possible to make a film like that, but inside an administration, the Obama team, as they left, you know, during that last year. So like kind of the flip side, like here's how you go in and here's how you leave. Because how the last year of a presidency tends to be pretty momentous, and also is the way they start defining their legacy, you know, and lock in or try to lock in whatever they've accomplished and define themselves for history. So I knew it was going to be a momentous year regardless. And I just thought, you know, is it possible to make that? And I knew enough people inside government to have a feel for kind of the ordinariness of it and the everyday lives and the drama of it. And I thought, I've never seen this, you know, captured in documentary. You see it in fiction, you know, and I just really thought it'd be fascinating if there was a way of capturing that, you know, as it actually happened. And with Obama himself, I mean, he was, I think, by the time you get to sort of meet someone like that or sort of start the interview, he's already been fully briefed. So my tactic was really just kind of just start and just talk to him very normally, and try to talk to him in a way that he's not normally talked to by, you know, the press or other interviewers, and just kind of like try to deal with him on a totally human, kind of ordinary, everyday level, but also really look at some of the ideas, the deeper ideas I could sense he was trying to get at in some of his speeches, and try to ask him and talk about those kinds of things that might be a little unexpected, to get, you know, fresh, original answers. Because often these, you know, if you're the president or a senior politician, you know, they're on message a lot, and it's, you know, to some degree rehearsed. But what I think we were able to get from everybody was really not that. It was something different, and you know, it's just from trying to like come at it at a different angle, and to kind of just, you know, there was no point in like saying, "Hi, I'm Greg Barker. I'm doing this documentary, and this is what we're trying," because he already knows all that. You just kind of get in and just do it. When you make films, it's like you make the film, and then it's done, and then you take it into the world, and just, you know, the world that you take it out into is different from the world from when you made it, because there's always usually a time gap. So that's part of the normal process. This is kind of like, it's just to a different degree. I've never had a film where the experience of watching it is so defined and informed by what's going on today in the world. So, and I think what makes it interesting for the audience is that, I mean, I find in my own mind, it's like, there's like two narratives going on. There's what I'm watching on screen, and then there's whatever's happening in the world, whether it's North Korea or Iran or whatever today. And that's like, you know, and you're thinking this new cast of characters are in these same offices and making different choices, and it's just really interesting. So, I mean, it's exciting to sort of have a film that speaks to today by still, you know, just kind of inhabiting the past. I mean, of course, when we made it, we had no idea what was going to happen. But it's no, I think that's one of the things that I think audiences are responding to when they watch it. It's like it is kind of, there's like almost this conversation in people's minds that happens as they watch the film, just by comparing today and what was just, you know, a year ago. The politics of a given moment can seem like so cast in stone, and they really are transient. So, and I think that's what's clear in this film, is that the Obama administration, which seems so kind of much a part of our, you know, our lives, certainly in the States, and such a presence on the global stage, is just, you know, was temporary and is gone. And now there's a new team in, and they're very different. But they too are temporary. So right now it feels like, you know, to a lot of people, it's, you can't see the end in sight, but it will, like all these things, sort of pass. So but where we end up in the next few years, of course, it's like the contrast is really profound, and it's a whole different way of seeing the world. And I lived here for a number of years. My family's, my wife's British, and so I'm very keenly aware of how America projects itself into the world and the message that we send, and you couldn't have a greater contrast than Obama and Donald Trump. That is just the way it is. And also, I think Obama was, and he'd said this publicly, was very influenced by the way that his predecessor acted once he was in office. And actually, the Obama people I talked to all spoke very highly of the outgoing administration of George W. Bush. Not that they agreed with him, but the way that they handled the transition. And they all would say they couldn't have been more polite and handed over power and took it all very seriously. And so there's a certain sense that these guys and women are in charge now, and you got to let them do their thing. And then at a certain point, I think you'll start seeing them engaging a bit more. But I know there's a hunger for it, but Obama's not going to be the president anymore. And he's, it's probably personally, he can't really, if he becomes the leader of the Democratic Party, in some form, that's going to just serve to undercut the next leader, right? So I think it's trying to, I would imagine for him trying to figure out what that role actually is going to be a challenge, but they'll figure it out, And someone else will emerge as the dominant voice, and they'll find quite a big audience, because I think there is a hunger for, an alternative narrative.